Hey, well, it's 11:19 in the morning on the 5th of August 2014. The moon has just this second changed sign from 29 Scorpio into 0 Sagittarius. It's a whole new energy wave coming in. I tell you, a few years ago, when I finally gave in and stopped treating astrology empirically and started living it as much as practicing it, I made the transition from treating astrology as an it to personifying it as a she. And at that point, I realized that people don't find astrology. Astrology finds people. And astrology found me. Fortunately, I took the opportunity some 35 years ago. And I realise now how fortunate I am. I'm actually living the dream of doing people's horoscopes for a full-time living. In the last few days, I've done 7, 10, 15 readings, an average of sort of 4 or 5 a day. And it's incredibly draining at a psychological level. It really wipes me out mentally in the evening. But during the daytime, it's like getting onto so many different waves. And what's really unusual is that the universe seems to have a conscious attitude towards me. It seems to be conspiring to throw certain groups of people at certain times my way for me to do readings for them. For example, those who know me well know that I'm not that comfortable with the movements of Neptune. I find Neptune personally to be quite a variable energy. But in recent days, a number of clients have come my way who have all got strong oppositions to Neptune. And every time that I end up talking at length about Neptune oppositions to people, I end up feeling that I need to go for a long sauna or a bath or a shower afterwards. That's not to decry Neptune oppositions, but they are some of the most insidious of aspects. Not so much the Neptune oppositions to the outer planets or Chiron or Saturn or Jupiter, because these are at least semi-generational. But the Neptune oppositions to Venus and Mars, for example, they create a kind of glamour, as in the original Welsh word glamour, an enchantment. It's almost as if they cast a spell, or they encourage the individual to see what they want to see rather than dealing with what there is. And with Venus and Mars, it's the stuff of Hollywood, it's the stuff of fantasy and creative imagination as well, once they get a handle on the difference between fantasy and imagination. But boy, does it play games in relationship patterns. Similarly, with Neptune opposite Mercury, I've been dealing with people, a couple of people who really, they struggle so much with their sanity, what they perceive as their sanity. They've been brought up and educated. Excuse me, glasses nearly fell out. Oh, glasses, right, hello. They've been brought up thinking that sanity is a construct which they're supposed to behave in a certain way. They've been brought up thinking that sanity means thinking like this. And when with Neptune opposite Mercury, they don't end up thinking like that. They think they're mad. And of course, only when they realise they've got Neptune opposite Mercury, and they don't work with logic and rationality and analysis, but they work with metaphor and analogy and intuition and creative communication, more than logic and rationality, then they realise they're actually super sane. Similarly, I suppose, Neptune opposite the ascendant, Neptune opposite the midheaven, it creates an element of spin where you can influence these people. It's not quite deliberate, but it appears as if these people with Neptune opposite the ascendant or midheaven almost connive, almost deliberately project into the outside world a deliberately different attitude than which they really are. Almost as if they need the approval of the outside world to prove their veneer or their sheen before they will actually open up properly. And when you've got Neptune opposite the moon or the sun, this is so big that perhaps I'm not going to cover it right now, because I'd need a whole video just for those two. Perhaps I'll do that later today or tomorrow. But Neptune oppositions, there's this sense of dissolution and dissolving around the idea of bringing some type of firm structure. And actually, The way to use Neptune oppositions positively is to embrace the rhythmic, organic, unconscious flow, to grab hold of the tide as it passes through and surf it without trying to work out where it's going, but enjoying the ride and enjoying the view and taking advantage of the creative opportunities on that journey. If you've got a Neptune opposition in your chart, don't ever try and understand it, just trust your intuition. Catch you later.